Welcome to Adventurers Academy, the training series where I will guide you through the behaviors, tactics, and secrets of monsters. Today, we'll be exploring the twisted mind of goblins. So what are goblins? Well, typically, small green-skinned creatures with sharp teeth and a penchant for mischief and thievery. They often serve as minions or henchmen to more powerful villains and are usually cowardly and easily defeated.
Oh, I'm just a small little goblin. No, please don't swing your sword. I would die to just one attack. Oh, I only have 3 hit points. Please, I'm a little goblin. I would not drop good items. Oh, your sword is so strong. I'm level 1 goblin. I do not know why I carved this dungeon.
Despite their diminutive size, goblins can be deceptively dangerous. Chaotic and cunning, you best not let your guard down, lest you fall for their traps and ambushes. Goblins are very adaptable like us. They can be found almost anywhere, though they'll most commonly be found in caves and forests. It is important to note that goblins are not mindless monsters. They have their own culture, language, and societal hierarchy. They are capable of forming complex relationships with one another. Many goblins have adapted and settled into civilized society. While they may seem like simple creatures at first glance, a closer examination will reveal that goblins are anything but. With that disclaimer out of the way, allow me to teach you about some of the goblins you may encounter in the world. The most well-known type of goblin you may come across in your adventures is the common goblin. Common goblins usually live in large chaotic groups, with no clear leadership structure if the tribe is solely made up of common goblins. They are scavengers by nature and will steal anything they can get their hands on, including food, treasures, and weapons. Goblins typically use crude weaponry, usually things ranging from rusted swords to handmade javelins.
Oh, a rusty iron spear.
Huh. Nice.
You will rarely find a lone goblin. They are aware that on their own, they are weak. If you do come across a lone goblin, be careful, as there are likely more goblins laying in wait, ready to ambush you when your guard is down. Apart from common goblins, there are other types of goblins that you should be aware of. Goblin shamans, for example, possess magical abilities, such as the ability to cast spells or summon creatures. They often take the role of the spiritual leader of goblin communities, and are respected for their power and wisdom. Within their tribes, goblin shamans are responsible for performing religious ceremonies, healing the sick and injured, and providing magical support to their tribe. In battle, they specialize in magic to damage and control the battlefield while supporting their allies. Worg riders are another type of goblin. They ride on top of the backs of large wolf-like beasts called worgs. Their role in the tribes are usually as scouts and raiders, and they are feared for their speed and ferocity in battle. Within their tribes, worg riders are highly respected for their bravery and skill in combat. They often engage in hit-and-run tactics, using their superior speed and mobility to strike quickly and retreat before you have a chance to respond. Bugbears are larger and stronger than common goblins. With shaggy fur and sharp claws, they are often solitary creatures that live in the wilderness, away from other goblin tribes. But there are always exceptions. Sometimes a bugbear can be found as the chief of a goblin tribe. The goblins will do work for the bugbear so that it can laze around, but in return, the bugbear will provide protection for the goblins when needed.
I'm Pachacuti, the Incan lord, all other tribes dreaded. My name means he who shakes the earth, not that I'm big-headed. When it comes to claiming nearby lands, I was the type to risk it. But it's how I treat dead enemies that really took the biscuit. I drink from their skull, pull out their teeth hole, turn teeth into charms, make flutes out of their arms.
Bugbears by nature are lazy and love to sleep. But don't let that fool you. Bugbears are brutal ambush predators. Despite their large size, they are able to fit into tight spaces and strike unseen. It's best to avoid encounters with bugbears where possible for newer adventurers. If a fight is unavoidable, then beware of their extraordinary strength, as they pack a real punch. Like many of the other wild goblinoids, they are quite dim-witted. It may be possible to trick a bugbear to avoid a combat. Lastly, we will touch on hobgoblins. They are also larger and more muscular than common goblins, though not so much as bugbears. Hobgoblins tend to form militaristic societies. They are often the leaders of goblin tribes as they are more organized, disciplined, and intelligent than their common goblin counterparts. Within their tribes, hobgoblins are usually in charge of organizing raids and battles against their enemies. They are also skilled craftsmen and often create their own weapons and armor. Hobgoblins are intelligent and prideful. If they have any allies around, they will push themselves so that they don't look weak.
And this
What's he doing?
is to go even further beyond!
They are also adept at employing battle strategies. When a hobgoblin is chief of a tribe, you may find that all goblins in the tribe employ more advanced battle strategies, such as luring adventurers into traps and surrounding and trying to flank you. When it comes to combat, goblins are not to be underestimated. While they may lack physical strength compared to other creatures, they more than make up for it with their cunning and resourcefulness. They are skilled at setting traps, using stealth to their advantage, and exploiting their enemies' weaknesses. So, how can you use this knowledge to your advantage? The answer is simple. Use their weaknesses against them. Because goblins are cowardly by nature, they are easily intimidated and can be driven off with a show of force. Most goblins are also vulnerable to ranged attacks, as many don't have a means to attack from a distance. Be aware of goblins with javelins and shamans, as they do have means to attack from distance. Finally, why not use their traps against them? Take your time to learn about the surroundings and choose where you want to engage. By exploiting these weaknesses, you may just turn a bad situation into a victory. In conclusion, goblins may be small and seemingly harmless, but letting your guard down around them will be your downfall. With their cunning and resourcefulness and ability to adapt to any situation, they are a real force to be reckoned with if they get the drop on you. But now you have the basics. Just in time, there's a new quest posted on the board. Check down in the description for more details, and hopefully you can use a little of what you learned here. Stay tuned as we'll be covering more monsters. Leave a comment if there's anything in particular you want us to cover. And as always, happy hunting.